So you said, what do I think of that? And I said, I think that's a long path to follow, for the answer to the question.
Right, and it is going to be in intervals.
Right.
But really, there is no answer. That's the whole point of it. It doesn't really have an answer. There is no conclusion to it. I think in material there's a conclusion, but is there a conclusion in material? Because when you get something, you want more. I know for myself, if I had a Porsche in the driveway, doesn't mean I don't want a vet. Doesn't mean I don't want a Lamborghini or an Aston Martin. I would have 8 cars, or maybe have 10 cars. Just because I have one pair of boots doesn't mean I don't want 5 other pairs of boots. So where does the material end? If I have a school, do I want a bigger school? If I have power, do I want more power? There's no answer to it. There's no stopping, both on the material realm and especially on the substance realm, because the substance is a journey. There is no definitive or direct answer to that. So yeah, there really is no conclusion. It's all on what you put into it, how you play it out. You have to bring it to life. And you have to bring it to life in how you want to represent yourself. Obviously, in the world as a whole, we don't do a very good job of representing it. We're really in constant conflict. We pick sides. I think it's possible that our country is heading into something very bad, or our country is planning on something happening very bad, and it's going to look very bad, but because we're underneath the veil of what's really going what's really under in the cloak and dagger world, we think it's going to be bad, but really they're already on it. The world now has become very small, but I don't think there's an answer. And there is no real answer to, substance. It's a journey that you have to decide to take and what you're going to do with it.
And that kind of responds to the whole vibrational energy idea. It's you bringing it to life, right?
Creation, in my opinion, started from nothing. It was void, imagined itself into existence. That's God. We're a part of that. Even if you were created from an alien race, everything has come from the same goo. The cosmic goo that started everything, maybe from the Big Bang, maybe multiple universes, maybe alternate universes. All that's wonderful. But really, it's who you are. Where are you in the placement of all of that? You are important to you. Hold your breath and let me put a pillow over your head. You become very important to yourself. You wanna live. If you could take all the material things you have, and I put your arm and chop it off with a machete, it just disappears like that. The only thing that's important is getting that arm fixed or not bleeding to death. All of a sudden, now the material of your body becomes really important, and anything you gained is gone. You don't care about that. You just want to get yourself better.
What does that mean about people who don't take care of their health?
I just think we're just all, my mother, when she was sick and she was dying, for a while there, the fear of her death was generating her to try and take care of herself for a little while. But after a while, you forget about it. And you go back into your old habits and you start eating unhealthy again. You start drinking. My mom didn't drink, but you start, whatever it is, you start doing those things. My mom could have lived longer, but because she wanted to, her old habits were so overpowering, the pleasures of that, she decided, well, maybe death, okay? That death is, I'd rather live shortly and enjoy my McDonald's hamburger than live on a vitamin. So it really depends on where you stand in that, what's valuable to you. How far do you want to go? There's people today that want to live forever and just keep going, and they sacrifice so much of the present so that they could be around when we could freeze people and we could do these things so that they can live. And that's really a matter of preference. It's up to you where you want to go. But I believe the substance is something that continues. I believe in the matrix of creation. Basically 3 gods, which all kind of tether to substance and material. The one God is the matrix, and the matrix is where everything has been created. That is universal consciousness. The other God is the mythology, all the mythologies and things that have come into play. And the other is the personal God, the one that I hear within myself. So God as a symbol, amalgamating them into the substance, into the realm of material, because the substance created material. We are actually living in the imagination of creation. And that's what I mean by you're here, but you are going to move on from here. Once you are no longer here, this is no longer important. But while you're here, you should be doing something with it. My way is, teaching. But Matt, I don't think there's a conclusion to it. I would like to see, I think everybody would like to see the world be at peace, but I don't think that's going to happen because there's just too much material. We're too in conflict with right and wrong, In all our movies, and you watch, and television is kind of funny because you can watch a show and you can hate the bad guy in the show. Why is he doing this? But you're a viewer. And then there's some people, as a viewer, like I was watching Harry Potter, right? And Harry Potter has this one wizard that wasn't connected with Harry Potter because he thought by not talking to Harry Potter, he was doing the good thing, but really by not talking, he was doing the bad thing. And then Harry Potter was keeping himself detached from his friends, when really he should have been attached to his friends, which came out later. There's so much going on in the game of life that it's impossible for you to see. So you may say, why is, this guy making such mistakes? Why is Mr. Bush making a mistake? Or why is Obama making this mistake? Because the board's so big, and you could see it, but yet it still exists in the material form of some type of mistake. Why are there still people starving to death? Why are there still wars? You really think about it. Because we live in a material world, a material mindset of thought. We fight for those things. We're still fighting over land. We're still fighting who has the bigger stick. We don't really live in a substance world, but substance is who you are. It's what created it. This world may get blown up in some nuclear disaster, and may get blown up by a natural disaster. In other words, like the planet. Not the whole planet blowing up. A volcano erupts and destroys most of the people on the planet. The planet's still here. We're just not. So it still exists unless something hits it and just blows it up. And then whatever, but one day, the sun will burn out, and the solar system will end, and something new will begin. Out of ashes, new things grow. We're done.
Couple minutes.
Well, we're done anyway. No. So I don't know, Matt. I really think that in my life personally, and maybe why you've stuck around for all these years is something you never knew why. It'd be nice to educate more people and to bring what we're doing out to people more. But maybe you're here more for the substance than you are for the material. And when you start dealing more with the substance, your martial art abilities will change even more. But as long as you keep looking at it in a material form, you will still have those kicks that you throw. You'll still have those punches that you throw. But if you really start acting through your heart while you do it, are you doing it because your heart is telling you to do it? Or are you doing it because the material is telling you to do it? Now, anybody who does a martial art, to a certain degree, I think, has whatever when you guys first started many years ago, it was for whatever reason, because you wanted to learn to protect yourself from this, that, and the other thing. But you have to admit you've lost a lot of fears because of it. Sure. You can take care of your family, you feel more confident about where you're going, you can do things that other people can't do, but yet there are also certain things that you also know not to go, because the art tells you, hey, I know I'm not going to walk that way. If you're using common sense, unless you walk in, I'm going to walk that way because I'm a martial artist, you know, I can handle myself. You know, to me, you're just a bonehead.
I wore a suit to a biker practice the other week.
Yeah, and you have to learn to wear many hats. But if you were here, if you acted more out of substance instead of material, are you really training more out of substance or material? Have you not known that you left the material and that you need to come more from the substance? More from your heart? Do you take a martial art, or do you do what you're doing here because you are heartfully doing it, or are you materially doing it? If you're heartfully doing it, then you're going to move further.